Pastor McLaughlin with Grace Upon Grace and Ministry Grace 25. Uh, guess you've been wondering why I haven't been on all day. Well, I took a job, and so my work hours, I don't get off until 5:30ish, thereabouts. I must start doing something differently than what I've been doing in the past. But I wanted to come on today, explain to you why I wasn't on early this morning. And I did want to talk to you just real briefly about a U principle that I want us to look at. We talked about 11 principles so far, and I won't go over those again, but because of time's sake. But today I just want to talk to you briefly, give you an introduction to wisdom, and I'll see how I can work this out on a daily basis going forward. But so today I just want to talk to you about wisdom, what it means to have it, and what it means to live it. So what is wisdom? One teacher said wisdom is seeing life from God's perspective. And that's really a true statement. But I want you to understand that wisdom is not only is not a complex and unattainable as some people might think it is. In fact, wisdom is not unattainable at all. It's free for everybody who asks, according to what James says. Chapter 3 says, chapter 1, if anyone who lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, will be given to them. If you want wisdom, ask God, he'll give it to you. James said that in chapter 1, and now in chapter 3, he explains what wisdom is, and he teaches us how to put wisdom into our life. So today with you, I'm going to give you one reason what wisdom is, and then I'll be getting back to you. Excuse me. Wisdom, verse 13, he says, wisdom is wise and understanding among you. Let him show it by his good life and by good deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. Wisdom just isn't something you do. It's not something you know, it's something you do. Let me show it the way James says it. Wisdom is more than just knowing what best to do. Wisdom is doing what's best to do. And we can talk about politicians. We can talk about many different kind of politicians, but the one that comes to mind is President Clinton. And I hate to pick on him, but he's a good example. We all know what he did in the White House with this young lady. But imagine you going to him and you're talking to him and you say, Mr. Clinton, I'm in a unique situation. I'm president of a large company and many people, life depends upon me. But there's a woman I've been working with for 20 years. It's younger than me, and she began flirting with me, and I find her very tempting. What should I do? Well, what do you think he would say based upon what we know about him? Would he say something like this, go for it? Some might think he would say that, but I really think that in this situation, in retrospect, he would tell you don't do it. Don't risk your career, don't risk your reputation, don't risk your family. Don't risk those things that's going to cause you to have problems down the road. Another example of, imagine you're a very wealthy person and you have a chance to talk to Ken Lay. Now, he was the former founder of Enron, and we know what happened to Enron, scandal and all that stuff that went on 15, 20 years ago. He said, Ken, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm set financially, but I got this opportunity to do something a little with the books, a little fishy. It can even make me more wealthier. And I might not get caught, and again, I might. What do you think I should do? Well, some people will say, well, based upon this, what happened to him, he would tell you to go ahead and do it. But I think he would say, don't risk everything for something that could destroy your career. I believe he'd learn from perspective. And maybe I'm off, but I believe both of these men have the intellectual capacity to understand that their actions they did They would avoid it at all costs today if they could. I think they know it. And I think they knew it at the time, but they didn't do it for whatever reason. Like some of us, we do things like that for no apparent reason whatsoever. But in both examples, we could say, and like us sometimes, we just like wisdom. Because wisdom isn't just about what you know, it's about what you do. James says if you're wise, show it in your life by your good deeds. He's saying this is the big idea I want you to focus on today. Wisdom is better seen than heard. It's just not knowledge. It's knowledge and action. I appreciate you joining me. I apologize. I was on early this morning. It looks like I'm going to have to come on a different time. And maybe late afternoon will be a good time. I don't know. We'll just see what God does. And I won't be as long on the afternoon as I was in the mornings. But I want to share that first part with you. That wisdom is more than we know. That wisdom is something you do. Tomorrow we'll look at another part of wisdom. God bless you. If you have prayer requests, please let me know. I'll be glad to petition the mercy seat of God for you. And I ask you to pray for me and the ministry that God has. God bless you and have a grace-filled day.